Hey guys, and welcome to the stream. I decided to make this a bit of a YouTube weekend just because I can. And if we make our transition in OBS, you'll see this is the Flight Factor A320 for a change. This is due to Flavio's request from yesterday's stream, and I'm going to give this one another try. So I hope you enjoy it with me. George. Yeah, it happens. It happens. We've had some pretty interesting streams if we look at what happened with Flight Deck to Sim and the troll that was hammering him all the time. And if we look at Cloudy Box's stream with the 737 MAX 8, he did 2 streams for us there. And then mine as well. So yeah, it's interesting. Right, so at Manchester, I've noticed we've got a bit of gusts. I think the wind is 21, gusting 33, and up until the point I put, well, even now, look, the chocks are in, but look at the wind, look at the sway that the wind is causing in the aircraft. Quite interesting. Hey, David. Alright, as a matter of interest, the traffic that you guys are also going to see now, this is the live traffic plugin that I've installed. I've played around a little bit with it. It's kind of interesting. I was sitting at Amsterdam, where we're going to fly to now, and I was listening to liveatc.net while I was watching in the simulator how the aircraft were behaving, and it was actually very, very nice to see the synchronization between the real world and inside of the sim. One of the things that has been discussed quite a bit on Facebook is that the signal gets lost once the aircraft seems to turn off their transponders or switch to ground radar or whatever you want to call it. So the aircraft don't really populate on the airport, but it's nice to see them fly and obviously get some TCAS hits and things like that. Hey Liam. Yeah, I've noticed. I mean, if you look at how this cockpit is moving around here, it's very interesting. Yes, it was. It was. I don't know what the hell happened to that guy in his head, but he really made a problem for himself now. I can just imagine him getting banned for quite a long time, or VATSIM, or getting some other, you know, stuff happening on his side. So that's what happens when you're an idiot. And now I must try and remember how this thing works again. I don't fly it every day, sorry. Oh yes, we can actually change that, hold on. Oh cool, Bugatti. Now I know who you are. Fine. Alright, we need full house for this flight. We need to set that. Then in terms of the fuel, we need 5.7. I hate the slider. This is the most commonly ridiculous way of pulling a slider and having it so sensitive. And you can't even use your arrow keys. Hope they fix that. Flight Deck to Sim was putting up a stream. I didn't see the beginning of it, but I saw, you know, up until he landed the very last couple of minutes, there was an asshole on VATSIM that was trolling him, and he was using all kinds of slurs against him on Unicom there, and he was really just being a real asshole. So they called the supervisor, and I'm not sure what happened then. I didn't watch after he made his landing. I left, but I felt bad for the guy. You know, I mean, we've had trouble on other streams with his followers being absolute dicks, you know, where we've had to ban them and chase them away because they can't behave themselves, and then this happens to him. You know, I had a quick talk with him the last time we banned one of his viewers off another stream. And it's difficult, you know. Us guys, we're sitting here, we're trying to do our best, and then you get these absolute idiots that just don't know how to behave. It's terrible, you know. We don't have control over it. We just have to live through it, and they think they're very clever or very funny or whatever the hell they think about it. But it's sad, man. I mean, you don't go on stream and behave like that. You don't attack anybody for no reason, just like that. Well, I don't want to really repeat everything. All I'm saying is that he had a troll on his stream. I mean, that's the gist of it. The oak was really terrible, and they called the supervisor on VATSIM, and there will probably be some retribution coming from, you know, payback from VATSIM side. The oak will probably be banned and stuff like that, you know. The gist of it is just that I don't think it's nice for anybody. Don't care who you are, who you think you are, to come on somebody's stream and misbehave. I think that's really low class. It doesn't show any proper breeding as far as I'm concerned. I mean, it's very low class. Right, so now I need to figure out how much cargo to put in this aircraft, because one of the things that SimBrief does not do is it doesn't distinguish between baggage and cargo. You don't see the baggage component, so I'm going to quickly have to calculate some more other value here, because otherwise it's not. No, stream sniping is another form of trolling. This is literally just somebody being an asshole. I mean, if I can give you the example, what happened was he was basically posting on the VATSIM Unicom the whole time for pages and pages and pages long that if D2S is gay, you know. I mean, you don't go and slur somebody like that, you know, and that was just one of the things I can recall that the guy said. You don't do shit like that, man. You don't go and continuously sabotage his communications, because that's effectively also one of the things that happened. You don't interfere with another human being on such a very low level, because that's just scumbag rubbish. So we have a full house, and in this aircraft, how many packs is that? That is 136 packs. Where's that calculator? So we have 136, and we're going to times that by, let's do it by 84, which is a reasonable value. That gives us 11.424. Yes, John, it's bad manners completely. It's very low breeding standards that. We all hope. Yeah, it was like 30 minutes, George, and we all hoped the guy got removed. I mean, I had it happen to me once. I was flying on Vatsum. This was probably 3 years ago already. I spawned like normal. I mean, you start up your flight simulator, you pick your parking spot, you start up and you hit the connect button on the client. You don't know who's standing at the gate. And this idiot noob who was at my gate thought he was bloody brilliant, and he had his crash detection on. So the moment I spawned on his spot, he crashed out. And I didn't notice initially, and also he was going on for probably 15 minutes at least, calling me all kinds of profanities and telling me what a noob asshole I am, and it's only noobs who make such mistakes and all. And I tried to reason with him once or twice and eventually gave up. So I called the supervisor and I explained to him and the supervisor in the supervisor's presence that only a noob, idiot, fool, whatever you want to call it, puts his crash detection on when he flies online. It's impossible to determine who's on what parking before you connect. It turns out that this guy has something like 49 hours on VATSIM. I'm sitting with way over 1,000 hours. So the whole idea of trolling, you know, it cuts in different ways. It comes in different forms, and this oak literally for also about 15 minutes were gunning me and using the most awful language, trying to describe what a rubbish I am for spawning on top of him. But at the end of the day, I think he got a 3-day suspension, according to what I can recall, and he had to apologize to me, and he had to acknowledge that he made a mistake by having his crash detection on, and that is actually a noob thing to do, because you've got to use a little bit of brain power as well somewhere in your life. And that was I think what I can describe the worst thing that happened to me on VATSIM, and he got what was coming to him. I just think this oak that gunned for flight deck to sim, I think he's going to get it much worse. He's going to get more of a sentence. Yeah, Liam, it's true, but some guys take it very seriously, and some guys don't care to learn anything about VATSIM. They just want to get in there and go, and you get so many different levels of experience. It's really difficult to get everybody on the same standard, and I think that's where proper breeding comes in. I mean, your mother and father, or if you don't have a mother and father, your godparents or the children's home you stayed in, somebody's got to teach you some values, somebody's got to teach you some manners. And I mean, it's okay now with social media. Social media has actually created a lot of keyboard warriors who for the life of themselves will never ever dream of being this bad in somebody's face, but this keyboard gives them the power to be, Superman or Supergirl, and they just lose their shit. And that's very unfortunate, I mean, low class, very low class. Oh, sorry guys, I need to concentrate on this calculation quickly because I need to do a thumb suck here quickly. Okay, so according to what I can thumb suck, we need just over, well, let's make it 4,700 kilograms of cargo. This thing can't even carry that much. Oh, I know what I made the mistake. I used the wrong values. It's 136. Ah, okay, that makes a difference. Learn something new. Alright, so. And every time this aircraft moves in the wind, the slider moves a different way. Come on. Ah, okay, that's about the best we can do. We're basically flying full, George. The passengers, according to the virtual airline, needs to be 144. This aircraft can only take 136, so it is a full complement. And then if I use 84 kilograms per passenger for their value, and I subtract it from the actual payload according to SimBrief, it leaves me with roughly 6,700 kilograms, which will then be for cargo, baggage, and all the other rest of the things. So that is set. That's set. And for fuel, we need 5.7. Oh, that's goody. It's in the right place. So that's set. Alright, let's see if I can remember how to do this now. We want to switch on batteries. Right, okay, so I'm gonna wait a minute and then we'll continue. Liam, what did United do with the overflow? Did they borrow extra aircraft or what did they do? Yeah, arrest them, take them to the pub and make them suffer. Hello Flavio, I'm glad you made it because this flight is for you. I just hope I can remember how to fly this aircraft. Okay, that's interesting. Why wouldn't he leave? I mean, they wouldn't ask somebody to leave if there isn't a valid reason, eh? Ah, okay, okay. I understand. Right, I'm just checking the arrival there. That looks a little bit funny, a bit wonky on that side. Let's have a look, see what the charts tell us. LAMSO to Alpha takes us through. Ah, okay, there is Sierra Papa Lima. Then we go past and okay. Looks reasonable. Now for the fun part to see what this one says to us. Where's my browser? Just looking for my takeoff performance calculator quickly, in case you guys do not know about this one. Here is a link. Just typing for you quickly. Right, so that's what I'm looking at right now. So I just want to copy all the relevant information. It's A320 CFM metric and we are at EGCC. Grab the meter and to do flaps 2 takeoff. Backs will be on. Anti-ice. We don't need anti-ice, I don't think so. There's no moisture in this air. Is our outside temperature. Now we can put it on in the air if we need to. Alright, take off weight. Plus weight, I suppose that's it, 65,148. Our Mac is going to be 27.5. That's 27.5. The runway is 23 right. And we calculate that gives us 58 degrees. On the flex, we have B1 145, 155, and 148. Do up 0.2. We shall do that. Why did it not populate? Guys, if you know more about the Airbus, feel free to give me some advice. I don't fly this thing every day, so I'm not really familiar with it. And I can see I'm not getting my flap speeds calculated for me, so it just does not like the online calculator stuff. So let's just go back. Oh, maybe it's waiting for the IRS. That could also be it, I suppose. 1 minute. Let's give it a minute. I'm stabbing in the dark here, so I don't know of any discontinuities that would affect anything. That is done. Oh, you know what we did not do is we did not fill this in. This is why. Okay. Alright. I'm glad I remembered about this. Right, so 0 fuel weight, 59,432. 4 and 0. That's going to be 27.5. Why? Right. Oh, 0 fuel weight. Ah, okay, that might be it. 15.94. No, that's what I had. Right, fuel. Total fuel on board 5.7. Right, this should fix those two. Okay, so if any of you can explain to me why the actual online planner and this one differ so much, that would also be absolutely cool. So I'm just going to guess this value, then there's no point in fighting with the system. Let this aircraft do what it thinks it needs to do. Right, and there we've got our flap speeds. Right. Let's see if we can get our Navigraph working in this tablet. I just need to get my login details. that looks promising, and we said we are doing that flight. And there's our map as well. Goody goody goody. Alright, let's close the actual browser on the outside. Yeah, David, this has got a couple of extra tricks to it. Our design does the same thing, but it looks differently, and it's just easier to operate if you use it every day than this one. So we're going to take off. It looks correct. We'll check when we get to the actual runway if this problem with the SIDS and stars going, not the stars, the SIDS going in the wrong way. We'll figure that out when we get there as well. Let's get our block time going. We were supposed to do that long time ago. We are going to be flying at 33,000. That's a bit high. There we go. Let's have a listen. To be at 122.
Echo Golf Charlie, Charlie, airport information, Juliet 1150, Zulu, weather, wind 302 at 23, visibility 10,000, sky condition 3,000, scattered temperature 6, dew point -1, QNH 0994, advise on initial contact, you have information, Juliet Echo Golf Charlie, Charlie, airport information, Juliet 1150, Zulu, weather, wind 302 at 23, visibility 10,000.
Okay, well, if it works on the jar, it should work on this one, hey Davy? Right, let's get the ground handling. Nope, not those guys. They better push back.
Ground to cockpit. Plan acknowledge. Call me through the menu when you're ready. Ground to cockpit. Tow is driving up.
Okay, guys, I never bought the BSS sound pack for this aircraft, and I believe there was a very nice update yesterday, and I'll obviously go grab it once my customers decide I'm worthy to receive my monthly payments, you know, and the money's owing to me, and then we'll have a better sound pack, I suppose. Oh, just remembered something. Let's have a look. See, go to services. Right, so that's been removed for us. And there's the nose lift anyway. Browser.
So connected and bypass pin inserted. Release parking brake.
Liam, there's nothing wrong with that aircraft. It's a brilliant aircraft. I love it. I don't fly it that often because I only have 1 or 2 VAs. In fact, yeah, 2 VAs that actually require the use of it, which means that it basically stands in my hangar until I feel like flying it. So for me, it's a good investment. Either way I look at it, but I just don't fly it that much. That sounds good, Flavia. That really sounds good. I like things that simulate reality as close as possible. Right, let's see if our magic little tool can work on this airport now. Where is that little tool? It will not work. Alright, well, we tried. So, we've got everything going, lights up, APUs running. Let's release the parking brake.
Starting pushback and you may start engines.
I never started my VA client, so we'll wait for pushback to stop and then we'll quickly start the client. While we're waiting, have a look at the weather. We're expecting some rain and stuff there in Amsterdam.
Operation complete. Set parking brake. Disconnecting tow. Stand by. tow is disconnected and bypass pin has been removed. Hand signal on the left. We'll see you next time and have a safe flight.
Thank you very much. Let's get these engines going, set the trim and start our taxi. Yep, it's nice overcast here, eh? Thanks, David. I'll remember that. I was wondering about that just now. And I'm also just checking my runways that they are correct. Seems to be fair and fine now. Right, I'm going to do the line up and hold thing and let him just get out of our way and then we'll go.
Approaching 23 right. On runway 23 right.
Okay, well that doesn't help. Can't actually see him, so we're going to do this by faith. Where's Flex? Hello? Flex. I had it there for a second. Here we go. Hey Joshua. Help if I look in front of me and not do the chat screen. Sorry about that. Ooh, my soul. Oh, that's rough. Joshua, no, I don't. Yeah, totally crazy, and for some reason, I mean, I set my trim to the 0.2 up. Every time I let go of this thing wanted to nosedive, so I'm not sure what that's about. Well, David, I'm doing the Sonic's departure myself now. Seems this aircraft is taking it as well, so I'm happy. I think I miss old Sandy or Linda. They actually take care of the lights and the stuff for me in the Airbus, so my mind's not there. I better get them going soon again. Flavio, yeah, let me do that. I'll quickly just get my push the top off here. Okay, so frankly, the two main differences is this. This MCDU is the heart of how do I move this? There we go. This is the heart of the flight factor. If you compare the MCDU in the flight factor to the one in the jar design, this one has a little bit more depth. Alright, so the guys spent a lot more money on this to develop this, a lot more time. The reviews that we get from the real world pilots, they like this because this actually works exactly like what they are used to in their Airbus when they fly in the real world. The other thing that really helps, especially newbie pilots, is the fly-by-wire system that is incorporated in the flight factor, and it goes for the same in Tollus. It's really good for entry-level guys, flight simmers that don't know any better and just want to take off, fly and land. There's no challenge in flying this aircraft. You point the nose in a direction and it goes. You can land it quite easily, even in gusty winds. It's much easier to land than the jar design. The jar design, on the other hand, like okay, I must have pressed the wrong button. Alright, so let's recap. George, thank you. In terms of, now I don't know what you heard and what you didn't hear, so I'm going to try to repeat what I said. In terms of the flight factor, the heart of it is the MCDU. According to what the real world guys say, this MCDU is more like the real world. It's more realistic and it's more in depth. This is probably the most in-depth study level, if you wish, MCDU that you have in explained flight simulation at this point in time. Alright, the guys are familiar with it and it seems to operate, you know, according to spec. The jar design, it works. It obviously, there's 3 pages of interest in an MCDU. It's your initialization page, we can't even go in there now, your flight plan and your preferences. The rest is nice to have. It's stuff that you might or you might not use. If you're just a flight simmer, you're probably never going to touch the other 3. Now, the jar design caters for those 3 pages, but it doesn't have the same depth in simulation as this one has. Then the fly-by-wire system is the other thing. The flight factor, in my opinion, is a very good trainer because you don't need much effort to fly it. It basically flies itself. Now, how realistic that is debatable. It honestly is. Let me just see what it's telling us. Destination data. What I have found is I've been able to land the flight factor in gusting winds here at Manchester without any major issue, whereas for the life of me I couldn't land the jar design. The jar design, you've actually got to fly the aircraft, you've got to be in control of the aircraft, and the impression that I get is jar design has got some or other mathematics algorithm running that makes it feel to me like it's flying on rails. So it's much easier to fly the flight factor than it is to fly the jar design. That's just my take on it. In terms of, so that takes care of the MCDU and the flight model. In terms of immersion, the only thing that the flight factor has got going for it is the tablet here on the left hand side. I just want to pull the altitude down, and we'll have to do this MCDU quite soon because there's the top of descent coming. But this little tablet on the side is the only bit of immersion that this aircraft truly has, that it's got going for it. There's no other immersion. If you compare that to the JAR design, the JAR design has got plenty more buttons and knobs and everything that's working, so the immersion is much better for me. So if you look at the two, flight factor will definitely have to work on the immersion. Flight factor does not even have a working radar. There is no weather radar here, whereas JAR design already has that incorporated. The flight factor guys will have to spend more time on the immersion, and the JAR design will have to spend more time on the MCDU and the flight model, and then we can start comparing them. But those are the major differences that I pick up between the two when I fly them. Oh, and another thing, the flight factor is much heavier on frame rates, much heavier than the JAR design is. And the last time I spoke to Andre from JAR design, he said he's actually got some other fix coming that will give us an extra 10 to 15 frames on the JAR design model, which is going to kick ass. So I hope that answers your question, and if it didn't, please feel free to ask, then I'll be more specific. Just need to set up this information quickly as well. George, I hope that audio was okay. Cool. Sorry, I have been waiting on Streamlabs OBS to fix this nonsense where you have to have a certain key for your talkability and for switching the mic on and off, push to talk if you wish, and it seems that the one I pick is actually a problem. I'm used to the normal OBS. I would use, for instance, control, which has not got any other function except to just trigger the mic, but in this one I have to use caps lock, and that's kind of irritating. Sorry about that, but thanks for warning me anyway. Flavia, your opinion, sir, did that make sense, or was I rambling too much because I was trying to remember what I said? Is that what you were looking for, or can I be more specific for you? Okay, cool. I think at the end of the day, it's horses for courses. There's a saying like that. You know, if you like Flight Factor, you're going to always like it more. If you like JAR Design, you're always going to like it more. What JAR Design have done with the last 2 or 3 or 4 updates that they've released has been absolute leaps and bounds of an improvement as to what it was a year ago even. And I want to tell you something, if these guys, Flight Factor and Tollers, don't pick up their socks, it's going to be the old situation of the hare and the tortoise that was running the race. I mentioned this on Facebook, and a couple of guys almost lose their minds because I dared to compare them. But jar design is going to beat these guys one of these days if these other two don't pick up their socks and start doing something. And like I already said, in terms of immersion, it's light years ahead of any of the other two models. It's just the MCDU and the flight model that just needs a little bit of tweaking still. Yeah, George, but that won't work. That will never happen. Absolutely, I agree with you. By the way, Flavio, if you don't know this, a lot of guys have been complaining about Flight Factor not doing updates. I did not know this, but if you go into your Java updater, there is a checkbox where you can enable beta updates. I ran it a couple of days ago and I actually pulled down something like 170 megabytes worth of updates. So just bear that in mind. The guys seem to be working behind the scenes, but just not everybody knows about that. Flavio, you're 100% correct. And that's why somebody like me buy all three, and then I have all three and I can fly whichever one I want whenever I want, you know, and I just take them as they come. I'm not going to split hairs really. One thing I did learn, and I mentioned this yesterday briefly while you were on stream, is apparently you need to use the approach button in the Airbus Flight Factor A320 when you do an RNAV approach. Neither the Tollers nor the jar design requires that. They actually fly the RNAV without you having to press that button, whereas the Flight Factor point blank refuses. If you don't press the button, it's not going to work. So I'm wondering if that's also a realistic setting. It seems to be. I watched some of the black box videos. Can't remember the exact name here on YouTube. It's black box 777 or something, who's an ex-real world Airbus pilot. He'll show you, if you look at his videos, every time he does an RNAV approach, he switches the approach button on. So I also learned something new. Okay, so we need to go down to 2000 foot to intercept the ILS. Our decision height is 100. That's been programmed. We need a auto brake of 2, which we've clicked, and that should be sufficient. Now we just need to fly down and land. And as a matter of interest, that is our weather waiting for us. We must remember to use our anti-ice when we go in there now. Not too long to go. There you can see we already gone into the standard terminal arrival quite a bit there. From what I understand, we are going to go from this point straight over Sierra Papa Lima over there, then turn around and come back. So we'll see if that happens, but that's my understanding. Flavio, I do not own Xenviro, so I can't tell you. I don't know. What you see here is what's called FS Enhancer. So I'm using Active Sky for X-Plane as the weather engine, and that obviously injects the weather into the system, and the graphics that you see is FS Enhancer. And that's my graphic settings, by the way. And as a matter of interest, this is the latest X-Plane. This is 11.31 R1. And I can tell you one thing, it's wreaking havoc on the flippin' bloody FPS again. It's terrible. After I fixed the FPS the other day, I was so happy, and now I notice, oh goodness, we're back to square one. Okay, so I've activated the approach phase. We are very definitely almost on top of that airport, so we don't want to go too fast and then not be able to make our turn in that teardrop turn. So almost there now. And this is what I'm seeing on my spare screen, so you can see me coming up to the VOR and the teardrop turn. Yep, that's why I'm slowing down a little bit, David. But how was your landing? Was it alright? And the visibility, was that also okay? Because I mean, all I can see right now is just clouds. Indeed, George. Thanks, David. Man, the frames have dropped to 16 and 17 here. I hope it picks up. Thanks, David.
Traffic. Traffic.
I hope he knows what he's doing.
Altimeter setting.
Right guys, I hope you are all still awake. We are almost on the ground. Buckle up please and prepare for landing. Flavio, for you my friend, I'll do my best. Yep, trays are stowed. The buckle I can't actually reach. We're just gonna hold on tight. I think this is the right hand side armrest because I'm using my left hand on the stick there, so we'll grab something here. Thank you John for the faith that you have in me. We're gonna do our best. Yeah, she's very beautiful. Okay. No, Flavia, I want to try land this thing on my own. So I'm going to kick the autopilot off very soon. The reason I want to land it on my own is specifically just to compare it again with the jar design. If if I have to do a go around, I'll consider an auto landing.
Approaching 27.
Ah, okay. Well, thank her for me, eh? That she made the trouble to get you on board here.
500. Above 200. Minimum 100. 50, 40, 30, 20, retard 20, 10, 5.
So John, you said a greaser, eh? I don't know what it said on your screens here, but my A-cars, smart cars from Virtual Easy says it was minus 95 foot per minute. That's very soft, wow. I can tell you one thing, Flavio. You're going to enjoy flying this aircraft. It's a pleasure to fly. You do not need to have the same PhD in flying, you know, when you do some of the other birds. So you're really going to like this. Yeah, John. I have no idea where to park. I'm just going to park anywhere. See, that's the wrong place to click. Now I've got my compass hanging out, so I will put it away just now. Thanks, Flavia. I just want to get the APU running so we can file the flight with a VA, and then we can do our customary replay. John, I've got a little plug-in called Live Traffic that actually reads, this is real world traffic that it projects into X-Plane. So this isn't a made-up thing like some of the other traffic packages. It actually reads it from ADSB and Flight Radar and all these other websites. I'm not sure what you call the websites. It's Open Sky or something actually. So it projects live traffic, and this is what I'm trying to just switch on again. I thought while I was taxiing in I should just switch them off to get more frame rates, but it did absolutely nothing to the frame rates. The frame rates are still yucky. John, let me just get my hands free, then we can look at that. Those are nice animations. And we're definitely on the wrong runway. Yes, David, that was kind of nice, eh? Oh, absolutely. My ZX Spectrum will never do this. I remember the sky was blue, the ground was either green or brown, and you had this little funny stick, uh, stick figure thing that they told you it was a body with wings, and that was your aircraft. Yeah, I missed that one. Never had one of those. Never had an Atari. Oh, that's lovely. Welcome to Amsterdam, everybody. Thank you for flying with me today with a virtual EasyJet. If you have any questions or comments, please throw them at me right now. The other night, just as a matter of interest, I told one or two of you already. I was sitting here at Amsterdam and I was tuned into live.atc.net and I was listening to the tower controlling runway 18. And then I switched this live traffic on. It is so amazing how they sync the real world traffic through this live traffic plugin with live.atc.net and the simulator, and it was so stunning. I just sat here for about half an hour, just watched all the aircraft come and go. Yeah, Davey, this is tower view. Let me just rewind a little bit. Thank you for the kind words, Flavio. I'm not sure if I'm going to fly again today, but if you don't see me on Twitch in the week, I'll be back next week, Saturday, on YouTube. And if I don't speak with you until then, have an excellent week, every one of you. Bye bye, everybody.